Commander Du Young stood at the center of the Galactic Council chamber. His black uniform stood out among the colorful robes of the alien council members. The chamber was huge, with tall crystal walls that reached up into darkness. 50 alien leaders sat in rising circles around him, all looking down at the human who dared to challenge their ways. Du Young held a small device in his hand. With one touch, it lit up the air with a display of ships in battle formation. The traditional formation looked like a perfect diamond shape, unchanged for 1,000 years. Respected council members, Du Young said in a clear voice, "This formation has served the galaxy well, but it has one big problem." He pressed another button. The display changed to show how enemy ships could easily predict and counter the pattern. The council leader, a tall blue-skinned alien named Var Prime, leaned forward. "Commander, these formations are perfect. They have kept peace for 1,000 years. Are you suggesting that humans know better?" Du Young smiled politely. "Not better," honored Var Prime. "Just different." He changed the display again. This time, it showed Earth's oceans. "On our world, we learned from nature. Our oceans taught us that perfect patterns can be broken by chaos." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some aliens whispered about dangerous Deathworlders. Others showed interest. Earth was famous in the galaxy as a deadly planet where only the strongest could survive. "Look at how our ocean predators hunt," Du Young continued. He showed videos of wolf packs and shark groups hunting. "They adapt. They change patterns. They create confusion. This is what we need in space combat." An elder council member stood up, his scales gleaming under the lights. "You want us to abandon traditions that have kept peace for generations. This is madness." "No," Du Young said calmly. "I want us to grow stronger. The galaxy is changing. New threats are coming. We can feel it. The old ways might not be enough anymore." He brought up new battle formations. These patterns shifted and changed like waves in the ocean. Ships moved in unexpected ways, creating patterns that were hard to predict. "This is how we survived on Earth," Du Young explained. "We learned to be unpredictable. We learned to adapt. It's not just about fighting. It's about survival." Var Prime raised a hand for silence. "Commander, your ideas are disturbing. You speak of chaos, of unpredictability. These are not qualities we value in warfare, but they are qualities that win battles," Du Young said firmly. "I have run thousands of simulations. My team at the Defense Academy has tested these patterns. They work better than the traditional formations. Much better." The chamber erupted in argument. Some council members demanded Du Young be removed from his teaching position at the academy. Others wanted to see more proof. As the debate grew louder, Du Young's communicator buzzed. He glanced at it secretly. It was a message from Li Jiayun back on Earth. "Big discovery in historical battle records. Call immediately. This changes everything." Du Young looked up at the arguing council. They were so focused on keeping their traditions that they couldn't see the danger coming. His sensors had detected strange signals from the outer rim of the galaxy. Something was out there, something that didn't follow any known patterns. The council would need to change, whether they liked it or not. Humanity's experience on their deadly homeworld might be the only thing that could save the galaxy from what was coming. "Honored Council," Du Young said loudly, cutting through the noise. "I ask for one chance. Let me prove these new strategies work. Give me one fleet, one opportunity to show you what humanity has learned from surviving on Earth." The chamber went quiet. Var Prime studied Du Young for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. "You have 1 month, Commander. Show us what Deathworlders can do. But remember, if you fail, humans will lose their place at the Defense Academy forever." Du Young bowed deeply. As he left the chamber, he was already planning his call to Jiayun. Whatever she had found in Earth's history, he hoped it would help him prove that sometimes the best traditions were the ones waiting to be broken. Li Jiayun sat in her dimly lit office at Earth's military archives. Dozens of holographic screens floated around her, each showing ancient battles from Earth's history. Her eyes were tired from studying countless war records, but what she had found made her heart race with excitement. She pressed a button on her desk, and a large screen appeared in the center of the room. "Computer, show me the battle patterns from the ancient naval battles of Admiral Yi Sun Sin." The screen lit up with moving dots representing ships. Jai Yun watched as the patterns of movement repeated themselves. Then she spoke again. "Now overlay the migration patterns of Earth's ocean predators." The computer added new patterns to the display. Jai Yun smiled as the two patterns matched almost perfectly. "Computer, add the hunting formations of wolf packs." Again, the patterns aligned. Jai Yun had discovered something remarkable. Earth's most successful military strategies matched the natural hunting patterns of its predators. This was why aliens couldn't understand human battle tactics. They had never lived on a world where everything was trying to kill you. Her communication screen buzzed. Commander Do Young's face appeared, looking tired but alert. "Jai Yun, what did you find?" She shared her screen with him. "Look at this, Do Young. Our ancestors didn't just make up their battle strategies. They copied them from Earth's predators. Every successful human battle formation matches some kind of natural hunting pattern from our world." Do Young's eyes widened as he watched the patterns merge and separate on the screen. "This is exactly what we need," he said. "The Council gave me 1 month to prove our new strategy works. Can you turn this into something we can use in space?" Jai Yun nodded excitedly. "I already started. Look at this." She pulled up a new display showing spacecraft formations. "If we apply Earth's predator hunting patterns to space combat, we get something totally new, something the aliens have never seen before." The patterns she showed looked chaotic at first glance. Ships moved in ways that seemed random. But Du Young could see the hidden order in the chaos. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "Our ships will move like a wolf pack hunting in deep snow," Jai Yun explained. "Then suddenly switch to shark attack patterns, then change again to match how eagles strike from above. No one can predict it because the pattern keeps changing." "The aliens won't understand it," Du Young said. "They've never had to hunt or fight like this. Their worlds are peaceful. They never learned to adapt like we did." Jai Yun's computer suddenly beeped with an alert. She checked the message and her face turned serious. "Du Young, I just got access to some deep space scan data. There's something strange happening at the edge of known space. The patterns, they look like hunting formations too, but not like anything from Earth." Do Young's expression darkened. "Send me everything you have. I need to show this to Captain Kim Ha-won. He'll be leading the test fleet, and he needs to understand these patterns perfectly." "I'll keep studying the historical records," Jai Yun said. "There must be more we can learn from Earth's past. Our ancestors survived here for millions of years. They must have known things we've forgotten." As they ended their call, Jai Yun looked out her window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, unknown hunters were moving through the darkness of space. But they weren't the only predators in the galaxy. Humanity had learned its lessons on the deadliest planet known to the Galactic Council. Soon, the aliens would understand why humans were so different from them. She turned back to her screens and began searching through more battle records. The Council had given them 1 month, and she intended to use every minute of it. The survival of the galaxy might depend on remembering the lessons Earth had taught humanity over millions of dangerous years. Captain Kim Ha-won stood on the bridge of his ship, the Earth Thunder. Through the large window, he could see his small fleet of 5 ships floating in space. The ships were arranged in the traditional diamond formation, just as the Galactic Council wanted. But that was about to change. "All ships, prepare for test maneuver," Ha-won said into his communication system. "Remember the patterns we practiced. Move like the wolves of Earth." His crew looked nervous but ready. They had spent 2 weeks learning the new formations that Commander Do Young and Lee Jai-yun had created. Now it was time to show what they could do. The test area was a quiet part of space near the border of Galactic Council territory. Or at least it was supposed to be quiet. 3 pirate ships had been spotted in the area, attacking trading vessels. This was their chance to prove the new strategy worked. "Sir," his sensor officer called out. 3 ships approaching. They matched the pirate signatures. HFY smiled. "Perfect timing. All ships, begin formation Wolf 1. The 5 ships broke from their diamond pattern. To anyone watching, it looked like they were moving in chaos. But there was a pattern hidden in their movement, one that came from studying wolf packs hunting in winter. The pirates approached confidently. They were used to the predictable formations of Galactic Council ships. But these ships weren't moving like any Council fleet they had ever seen. "They're confused," HFY's tactical officer reported. "Their formation is breaking up." "Now switch to formation Shark 3, HFY ordered. His ships changed their pattern instantly. Now they moved like a group of sharks that had found their prey, circling and closing in from multiple directions. The pirate ships tried to stay together, but they couldn't predict where the next attack would come from. "Sir, receiving a transmission from Commander Do Young," the communication officer said. "He's watching with the council representatives." HFY nodded. He knew this test was about more than just stopping pirates. The future of human involvement in galactic defense depended on their success. "All ships, prepare main weapons," he ordered. "But remember, we want to capture them, not destroy them. Show them what Earth Thunder can do." The battle was over in less than 10 minutes. 2 pirate ships surrendered after finding themselves trapped in an impossible position. The third tried to escape but was quickly caught in a maneuver that Jai-Yun had copied from how eagles hunt in groups. As his crew secured the captured ships, HFY's communication screen lit up. Commander Do Young appeared, standing next to several council members. "Excellent work, Captain," Do Young said. "The council members are impressed." One of the alien council members stepped forward. "Irregular, unpredictable, dangerous," the alien said, "but effective. Very effective." "Thank you, honored council member," HFY replied politely. "We learned these patterns from our world. Earth taught us that survival sometimes means changing the rules." After the transmission ended, HFY looked at the captured pirate ships on his screen. This small victory would help convince the council that human strategies were worth considering. But he couldn't shake the feeling that they would need these tactics for something much bigger soon. His second-in-command approached with a report. "Sir, we found something interesting in the pirate ship's data. They recorded strange signals from deep space, similar to what our deep space sensors detected." HFY's expression turned serious. He needed to get this information to Jai-Yun right away. If unknown hunters were really coming from deep space, the galaxy would need every advantage it could get, including the lessons humanity had learned from surviving on their dangerous world. High Admiral Park Sun-Mai walked through the quiet halls of the Galactic Defense Command Center. Her footsteps echoed against the metal floors as she made her way to the emergency meeting. The success of Captain HFY's test had caused more problems than anyone expected. The large meeting room was filled with alien military leaders. They all turned to look at her as she entered. Sun-Mai was used to being the only human in these meetings, but today felt different. The room was tense. High Admiral Park, the senior military commander, a tall crystal-like being named Axion, spoke first. "We need to discuss the human problem." Sun-Mai kept her face calm. "I wasn't aware humans were a problem." "Commander Axion, Captain Kim's fleet just captured 3 pirate ships without any losses." "That's exactly the problem," another alien leader said. "Your ships moved in ways that broke all military traditions. It was chaos. How can we trust allies who fight like wild animals?" Sun-Mai took her seat at the large table. Those wild animal tactics worked perfectly. No ships were destroyed. No lives were lost. The pirates were captured safely. Axion's crystal body flashed with colors of concern. "We have reports from 12 different military academies. Young officers are asking to learn these human battle patterns. They want to abandon our traditional formations. This is dangerous. Change can be scary," Sun-Mai said carefully. but sometimes it's necessary. Our deep space sensors are picking up strange signals. Something is coming. Something that doesn't follow any known patterns. The room grew quiet. They all knew about the signals, but no one wanted to talk about them. "Show them," Sun Mai said to her assistant. A large screen appeared in the center of the room, displaying the deep space scan data that Jai Yun had analyzed. "These patterns look like hunting formations," Sun Mai explained, "but not like anything we've seen before. They're too organized to be random, too complex to be natural. Something intelligent is coming." One of the younger alien commanders spoke up. Perhaps we should at least study these human tactics. Just in case." "Impossible," Axion declared. "We cannot throw away 1,000 years of tradition because of some unclear signals and human fear." Sun Mai stood up slowly. "Respectfully, Commander, fear kept humans alive on Earth. Fear taught us to adapt, to change, to survive. That's why Earth is classified as a death world. Everything on our planet was trying to kill us, and we survived by learning new ways to fight." She walked to the screen and pointed to the strange patterns. "Whatever is making these signals, it's not following your 1,000-year-old traditions. It's hunting. Just like Earth's predators hunt. Just like humans learn to hunt to survive." The room erupted in argument. Some alien leaders supported studying human tactics. Others demanded that humans be removed from all military positions. Sun Mai watched them argue, remembering something her grandmother once told her. "The most dangerous animal is the one that never changes its habits. It becomes predictable, and predictable things die." Her communication device buzzed. It was a message from Du Young. "Jai Yun found something in the deep space data. The signals are getting stronger. They're getting closer. We don't have much time." Sun Mai looked at the arguing alien leaders. They were so focused on keeping their traditions that they couldn't see the real danger. Humanity's experience on their deadly homeworld might be the only thing that could save them all. But first, she had to convince them to listen. The emergency alarms woke everyone in the Galactic Defense Command Center. Red lights flashed through the halls as Li Jiayun ran to the main control room. The strange signals from deep space had suddenly become very clear. "Report," High Admiral Park Sun Mai commanded as she entered the room. The large screen in front of them showed hundreds of unknown ships entering Council space. "They're not following any known flight patterns," Jiayun said, studying the data. "But their movements, they remind me of army ants from Earth. They're hunting as a group." The unknown ships moved with terrible purpose. They attacked 3 Council defense stations at once. The Council ships formed their traditional diamond patterns, just as they had done for 1,000 years. "No," Commander Du Young whispered as he watched. "Break formation. They're walking into a trap." But the Council ships didn't change their pattern. They couldn't. 1,000 years of tradition had made them predictable. The unknown ships tore through their defenses like wolves through a flock of sheep. "All stations are lost," the sensor officer reported. His voice shook with fear. "The enemy ships are moving toward the colony worlds." Sun Mi turned to Du Young. "How long until they reach the closest colony?" 6 hours, he answered. "Maybe less. They move faster than any ships we've ever seen." Jiadian worked quickly at her station, analyzing the attack patterns. "Look at this," she said. "They attack like Earth's predators, but not just one kind. They switch patterns constantly. Sometimes they'd move like sharks, sometimes like wolves, sometimes like swarms of hunting wasps. Just like us," Du Young said quietly. "They must come from another death world. They learned the same lessons we did." The room fell silent as this truth sank in. For the first time, the galaxy faced an enemy that understood survival like humans did. An enemy that had evolved on a world as deadly as Earth. Sun Mi's communication device buzzed. It was Commander Axion. The crystal being's colors were flashing with panic. "High Admiral Park," he said, "the Council requests immediate human assistance. Our traditional formations, They don't work against these hunters. We need every ship we have, Sun Mai replied. And they all need to learn our new combat patterns. Immediately. Anything, Axion said. The Council approves anything that might save our people. All traditions are suspended. As the call ended, Sun Mi turned to her team. Du Young, contact Captain Kim. Get every ship commander into emergency training. Jai Yun, find every combat pattern you can from Earth's predators. We need everything. What about the colony worlds? Someone asked. We evacuate who we can, Sun Mai said firmly. But we need time to teach our ships the new patterns. We can't fight these hunters using the old ways. She looked at the screen showing the enemy ships moving through space. They were beautiful and terrifying, like a pack of wolves running through snow. The galaxy had grown soft with peace, but humanity remembered what it meant to fight for survival. Earth prepared us for this, Sun Mai said to her team. Everything that tried to kill us on our world taught us how to survive. Now we have 6 hours to teach those lessons to the galaxy. Let's get to work. Captain Kim Ha-won stood in the main training hall of the Galactic Defense Academy. 500 alien ship captains sat before him, their different species mixed together in a way never seen before. They had 4 hours left before the enemy reached the first colony world. Your ships must forget everything they know, Ha-won said clearly. The old patterns will get you killed. Today, you learn to fight like Earth's predators. Behind him, Lee Jae-yun operated the large display screen. It showed videos of wolves hunting in packs. Next to these, spacecraft formations mimicked the wolves' movements. Watch how the wolves move, Ha-won continued. They don't stay in fixed positions. They adapt. They change. They confuse their prey. He pointed to the spacecraft patterns. Your ships must do the same. Commander Du Young walked through the rows of alien captains, watching as they studied the patterns on their personal screens. Some looked confused. Others seemed afraid. A few showed understanding in their eyes. Now watch this, Jae-yun said, changing the display. Now it showed great white sharks hunting in groups. These ocean predators attack from multiple angles. They create chaos. The prey never knows where the next attack will come. A tall, insect-like captain raised its limb. But how can we coordinate such random movements? Our crews are trained for precision, for order. The movements aren't random, Du Young explained. They follow natural patterns that evolved over millions of years on Earth. Each pattern has a purpose. Your crews will learn to feel these patterns, just as we did. In the back of the room, High Admiral Park Sun Mai watched with concern. Teaching 1,000 years of Earth's survival lessons in a few hours seemed impossible, but they had no choice. Show them Formation Eagle 7, she called out. Jae-yun nodded and changed the display. Now it showed eagles hunting in groups, diving, and striking from different heights. The alien captains watched in fascination as human ships performed the same movements in space. This is how we will protect the colony worlds, Ha-won said. We attack from multiple directions, multiple heights. The enemy thinks they know Deathworld tactics. Let's show them what Earth's deadliest predators can teach us. For the next 3 hours, they trained without rest. The alien crews learned to move like sharks, strike like eagles, surround like wolves. Their ships practiced in simulation after simulation, slowly understanding how to break free from their rigid traditions. Some crews learned faster than others. The younger aliens especially seemed to understand quickly, their natural instincts awakening after centuries of rigid training. They're starting to understand, Jae-yun said to Sun Mai as they watched another simulation. Look how that group moved naturally into the shark pattern without being told. Sun Mai nodded. But will it be enough? The enemy is still coming. It has to be enough, Du Young said, joining them. We've given them Earth's greatest survival lessons. Now they must use them. The final hour of training arrived. Ha-won gathered all the captains for one last briefing. Remember, he said, you're not just copying Earth's predators. You're becoming them. Think like them. Move like them. Hunt like them. As the captains rushed to their ships, Sun Mai received a message. The enemy fleet had changed course. They would arrive at the colony world in 1 hour. All ships, prepare for real combat, she announced. Show these hunters that they're not the only ones who learned from a death world. Show them what Earth has taught us. The combined fleet waited in space near the colony world. 1,000 ships hung in the darkness, their crews tense and ready. In the command center, High Admiral Park Sun Mai watched the enemy approach on the main screen. They're coming in fast, Li Jia-yun reported from her station. Their formation looks like a hunting swarm, similar to army ants on Earth. Commander Du Young stood next to Captain Kim Ha-won at the tactical display. Remember the training, Ha-won said into the fleet communication system. Move like the predators. Think like hunters. The enemy ships appeared on the edge of their sensor range. They moved together in a terrifying pattern, like a mass of deadly insects rushing toward their prey. But this time, the Council fleet did not form their traditional diamond shape. All ships begin formation Wolf 1. Sun Mai ordered. The Council fleet broke apart into smaller groups. Each group moved like a pack of wolves, spreading out across space. The enemy ships hesitated, their perfect swarm pattern faltering for a moment. They're confused, Jia-yun said excitedly. They expected the traditional formation. They don't know what to attack. Now, Du Young commanded. Switch to formation Shark 3. The wolf packs suddenly changed their movement. Now they circled like sharks, creating patterns within patterns. Some groups moved up and down in space, others moved left and right. The enemy swarm began to break apart, trying to track too many targets at once. Formation Eagle 7. Ha-won called out. Groups of council ships dove through space like hunting birds, striking at the confused enemy vessels. Their attacks came from all directions, impossible to predict. The enemy tried to respond. They shifted their own patterns, moving like predators from their own death world. But the Council fleet kept changing, kept adapting. Wolf became shark, became eagle, became wolf again. We're winning, someone shouted as another enemy ship exploded. No celebrations yet, Sun Mai said firmly. They're learning. Watch how they move. She was right. The enemy fleet was starting to copy their patterns. A great battle of predator tactics played out in space, like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Both sides moved with the deadly grace of natural hunters. They're good, Du Young admitted. Their world must be as dangerous as Earth. But they only know their own predators, Jia-yun said suddenly. We studied all of Earth's hunters. Every environment, every strategy. She turned to Sun Mai. We have more patterns than they do. Sun Mai understood immediately. All ships execute final formation. Code name, Earth's legacy. The Council fleet moved in perfect harmony. Each group showed a different Earth predator pattern. Some moved like wolves, others like sharks, eagles, snakes, and lions. Dozens of hunting patterns combined into one massive attack. The enemy fleet couldn't adapt fast enough. They had never seen so many different predator patterns at once. Their formation broke apart completely as the Council ships struck from every direction. Enemy ships are retreating, Jia-yun reported. The main screen showed the surviving hunter vessels fleeing back into deep space. The command center erupted in cheers, but Sun Mi kept watching the tactical display. Humanity had proved that their Deathworld experience could save the galaxy. The old traditions were gone forever, replaced by the deadly wisdom Earth's predators had taught them. Send a message to the Galactic Council, she ordered. Tell them that today, the galaxy learned to hunt like Earth. 3 months after the Great Battle, Commander Du Young walked through the halls of the new Human-Alien Military Academy. The building combined Earth architecture with alien designs, creating something completely new, just like their battle strategies. Students from 50 different species filled the classrooms. Through large windows, Du Young could see training ships practicing their movements in space. They moved like Earth's predators now, smooth and deadly. He entered the main lecture hall where Li Jiayun was teaching a class. The room's walls showed huge displays of Earth's predators hunting alongside videos of spacecraft using the same patterns. The wolf pack splits to confuse its prey. Jiayun explained to the alien students, "Your ships must do the same. Break apart, then come together. Create confusion, then strike." The students watched carefully, taking notes. None of them complained about broken traditions anymore. In her office at Galactic Defense Command, High Admiral Park Sun-mai read the latest reports. The enemy ships hadn't returned, but deep space scanners watched for them carefully. The galaxy would never be caught unprepared again. "Admiral," her assistant called, "the council is ready for your speech." Sun-mai walked to the great council chamber. It looked different now. The rigid rows of seats had been changed. Now the room was arranged in a circle, like wolves gathering before a hunt. Every council member was equal. Every voice could be heard. "Honored council members," Sun-mai began. "3 months ago, we faced an enemy that nearly destroyed us. They came from a death world like Earth, evolved among predators like we did. But they had one weakness. They only knew their own world's hunters." She touched a control, and the air filled with images of Earth's many predators. "Our planet taught us countless ways to hunt, to survive, to adapt. For thousands of years, we thought this was a curse. Now we know it was preparing us to save the galaxy." Captain Kim Ha-won's voice came through the communication system. He was leading a training mission near the outer colonies. "Admiral, the new cadets are ready for their final test. Permission to begin." "Granted," Sun-mai said. Everyone watched as the training ships moved through space. They flowed like water, changed direction like wind, struck like lightning. The old, rigid patterns were gone forever. Later that day, Du Young found Jiayun in the Academy's research center. She was studying signals from other galaxies, learning new patterns they might need someday. "The enemy will return," she said without looking up. "Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not for years, but they'll come back, and we'll be ready." Du Young nodded. "We'll all be ready. The whole galaxy knows how to hunt now." They looked out at the stars through the huge window. Somewhere out there, on another death world, their enemies were probably learning new patterns too. But Earth had taught humanity well. Every predator, every hunter, every survival strategy from their deadly homeworld had prepared them for this. "The old traditions kept the galaxy peaceful," Du Young said quietly. "But peace made us weak. Sometimes you need teeth and claws to survive. And sometimes," Jiayun added, "you need to remember where you came from." She pointed to a new statue in the Academy's courtyard. It showed a wolf, a shark, and an eagle together. Underneath were words in every language of the galaxy. "Earth's children remember. Earth's lessons protect. Earth's wisdom guides." The galaxy had entered a new age. The age of the hunters. The age of survival. The age of Earth's children.